like it's a broken record with Aaron questions and how you play a game preparation-wise, but what are the challenges been this week with them basically limited to the mental stuff?
I mean, it's like you said, it's been how it's been going the past couple weeks. The one thing that I'll tell you is my respect for him as a player, it goes up all nonstop. I mean, everybody talks about how he can throw the ball as good as he can, but his toughness is unbelievable. And for him to do what he's doing, with this thing going on, is awesome. And we trust him a ton and know that he's going to do whatever he needs to do to get ready for the game and be able to go out there. And I mean, just again, his toughness is unbelievable. I mean, that needs to be talked about even more with this guy. I mean, he's a stud.
Nathaniel, I totally understand he's one of the all-time greats and a Hall of Famer.
That's true. Yep.
But as we've talked about before, that if there wasn't value to practice, you guys wouldn't bother to do it. So, what kinds of things are you working to guard against that could happen when a quarterback is not taking live reps, especially one who has some pretty exacting standards and some real detail-oriented stuff that really matters to him on game?
I think it's about the communication. I think it's just about everybody, when we watch the tape, when we watch it as a staff, being able to get all that information to the players and understand exactly what we're thinking, where we want it to go, how we think it's going to happen. I think that we have to be great at that no matter what, whether we're on the field practicing and Aaron's out there or throwing it to Tay. I think it's just how can we relay that information, when he's not out there, to be able to get it to him. So from the standpoint of, you always want to practice. You always do. As coaches, we talked about it last week. We always want to practice. It makes us feel good, makes us like the plays more or not like the plays. And sometimes when plays don't go well, you have to sit there and wonder if they would have been better with him in there. And from that standpoint, you still try to go in with whatever you think is going to be the best, whatever Aaron's the most comfortable with. And when we watch it on tape during practice, when we watch the opponent, just make sure that everybody's on the same page. And then when we go out there, we got to execute it the right way.
So let's say there's a route for Josiah or somebody else who's not as experienced as Tay and Mercedes. So what's your process? But are you in your offensive meeting room and you want Aaron to be chiming in saying, hey, this is what I want you to do on this play, or is that
I think it's more, that from the coaching standpoint, because every position has so many unique details that they have to go through. And when you talk to one group, it might not have something to do with another group. So you want to be sure that the number one most important person is the coaches, is that the coaches understand exactly what Aaron wants. And so when we watch it as a staff and we talk through all those different things, that they can relay that stuff to the guy. And then at the same time that Aaron, when he's with them or sees them, he can also say that. And the whole idea is that exactly what Coach Outen says has to be the exact same thing that Aaron's going to say. So I think that's what we're always striving for as a coach. And it happened, it happened yesterday. There was something that had happened. We noticed it. We talked about it. Aaron was going to say something and heard, a coach say exactly what he was going to say. So that's that comfort level. So everybody's on the same page. We all know it's one voice. Because the minute that you say one thing and I say another thing, that's when your confidence can go down. But I think that as a staff, we've been together now for 3 years. We know Aaron really well. we want to make it right for him, and everybody wants to be on the same page. And so I think that's what has allowed us to do some good things.
Do you have a favorite Nijman story?
Yash. I would say my favorite, not even close, is the robot. I mean, he's been he busted that robot out in one of the touchdown celebrations that he did, and I thought it was fantastic. As we know, I enjoy dancing a lot, and when you see somebody execute a robot, a really good, clean robot, it makes you proud, and I think he's done a nice job at that one.
Wait a second. I feel like Yash set the standard that you can't say you enjoy dancing without breaking on a move. You got any robot?
Oh no, I'm retired. I'm definitely retired, but no, I definitely like his robot.
Are the cameras going to catch you doing the robot up in the booth?
I'm not sure. I mean, sometimes things happen. I mean, I don't know what's happening once we score touchdowns. I kind of lose my mind. I get so excited. So you never know.
Hey, Nathaniel, Jason was asking about start of games and communication and making sure you guys know what Aaron wants and what he's comfortable with. Conversely, what about you guys as coaches? What are you comfortable with him trying as the game begins to make sure, because he hasn't practiced, there might be a little rust, to kind of get him into a rhythm? Does that matter at all?
Oh, of course. I mean, getting the quarterback into a rhythm is what this game's all about. And you see, like, when you get that rhythm going as you start off, it allows for success throughout the game. And I think it's about us understanding what Aaron wants. We always present, well, you know, when we present that game plan in the beginning of the week, we love the game plan. We love all the plays, and there's a lot of them because we're, you know, we have so many different ways that we might want to attack. So it's kind of whittling that down into what Aaron wants and then what we like and how we are aggressive and get him into that rhythm. So I think that's just that communication process that we have up from now until Sunday. And once we get there, it's always kind of keeping in mind we want to get him some completions, we want to get him some shots down the field, and that's that constant communication between Matt and Aaron, you know, myself, Getsy, everybody, just so we're all on the same page.
Nathaniel, regardless of Aaron's practice situation, you know, you guys have not started as fast as you did last year in games and not as fast as you want to. I remember you explaining to us in 19 how you were coming across all these teams that they do one thing on film against everybody else, and then you get to the game and they may be a zone team and they're playing man-to-man all the time. Have you seen a lot of that this season where teams have gone against their tendencies? And do you think that factors in to maybe not getting off to the starts you want to, or is it something else?
I don't think that necessarily has to do with the reason why we haven't started fast, but I think that has definitely still presented itself a couple times this year. And we went against a team that had just been zoned the entire year. In the very first snap of the game, they jump into man coverage. And then I would say the one thing that not only is it going different from their regular tendencies, I think it's more that they're trying to never give him the same look. So they're trying to continually change things over and over and over again. Because I think everybody's kind of tried a little bit of everything against the guy, and he still finds a way to be successful. So it's definitely continually happening. We're a little bit more prepared for it than we have been in the past. So I think that we've grown as a staff, you know, with a guy like that. But I think it's just, you know, just some of our executions. I mean, we've had some penalties that have been, you know, not great, and we've had some things that have just got us behind the sticks, and we don't get rolling early. And then it's just great as long as you get going at some point during the game. That's huge. So, yeah, we just got to start fast.
Which game was that you were referring to?
For which one?
The one where they played zone all year and then they jumped into man the very first play.
I believe it was the 49ers. I think one of the very first snaps, they jumped into a man look, and then they didn't do it again the rest of the game. We were just kind of hit you. Like, oh, we knew they had it. It just all of a sudden it came out of nowhere, and then it disappeared.
You know, Yash is a great story. He's played really well for it, but he's got to go block Leonard Floyd. Billy's got to block Vaughn. Someone's got to block Donald. What's your comfort level with your 5 guys or 6 or whoever you block them with?
I think whoever is going to be playing offensive line versus those men that you just mentioned, you're never going to feel great. Those guys are spectacular players. I mean, between their scheme, between everything that they do, I have a lot of confidence in our guys to be able to get out there and give it all they have and compete there really hard. I was going to say something else, but I mean, the respect that those guys get is unbelievable. I mean, those are unbelievable football players. I mean, Aaron Donald, what he does on the field is absolutely incredible. I mean, I've never seen anything. I remember, I mean, he was a good player when I coached at Syracuse, when he was at Pitt, going against him. But, I mean, what he has done up to this point is unbelievable. But I think, you know, not one individual guy is going to have to take on those tasks. I think it's about the unit together, and that's what I have probably the most confidence in, is just our guys working together and understanding it's just not about one, it's about understanding where people are and understanding where your help is, how we can help them. So I think I just loved how unified those 5 guys are, and so I feel confidence in that and how they communicate, how they talk, how they adjust to be able to help each other out instead of just truly, you know, one guy on one, because I mean, those guys are so good, they're going to win their one-on-ones, and you know, that's why you got to be sure you're helping them.
Daniel, I know that you guys work really hard to make the opponent's plays your plays for the scout team so Jordan could get more out of it. But obviously right now he's getting a hell of a lot more out of it than he would if he was running the scout team. What advantage has that been to him? What have you seen in just these last couple of years?
Yeah, it's experience. I mean, that experience is so hard to get. I mean, you go across the league, and whenever you have, whether it be a new quarterback, a young quarterback, somebody that's in a brand new offensive system. I mean, it's arguably the most difficult position to play in all of sports. And any experience that you can get is going to help somebody grow and learn. And, Jordan, to be able to go out there and practice, as the starter and get all those reps, whether he plays in the game or not, you just don't get that. I mean, the past 2 years, or his first year, he didn't get any of those reps. So, all those things you gain more and more from whether you do something bad, you get to learn from that. Do something good, you get to understand where you can put the ball even better. It's invaluable. So I think this is a great opportunity for him to continually grow.
Sarah, we got time for one on Zoom if you have one.
Yep, go ahead, Aaron Nijman.
Coach, Aaron mentioned on the Pat McAfee show a really creative pressure that the Vikings brought early in the game that you guys adjusted to and hit a big play on later in the game. I was wondering about the mechanics of how you guys go about, okay, we're going to have so-and-so slide this way or bring the back over here, X, Y, Z. Is that you in concert with Luke? Are you then relaying that to the position coaches? What's that process like?
Well, I think first and foremost, it's about the foundation of your protection scheme. So for us as coaches, we always feel like we have an answer to everything, and we practice everything that we've seen up to this point during the season. So the guys get to feel all that stuff out, but there's always going to be some new wrinkle that you're going to face. Nobody's going to just give you the same stuff continually over and over again. So there's always going to be something new that you haven't seen, especially a divisional opponent. So it's about understanding just kind of the base system of what we do and how to pick up everything, and then understand that it might not be the same picture that we presented to you, and they're going to give you something new, but you just have to follow your rules and understand the ins and outs of the protection to be able to pick it up. So it's really a combination of, Coach Buckus being able to present the protections and the rules, and Coach Stinovich coaching it up with him, and then all the way to Aaron, who's making the adjustments from his calls and the different tools that he has to be able to protect himself. So it's very intricate, and it allows you to, if you haven't seen something, be able to be successful, and if you haven't, be able to talk about the different ways that we can potentially pick something up if there is something new that we haven't seen before.